Hey guys, so how's it going? I hope y'all are doing well and everything's okay on your side. So today I've decided that I'm going to share a couple of things that you guys are going to want to do immediately thereafter the wealth transfer has taken place. So if you want, you can go ahead and grab yourself a pen and take some notes as we go along the way. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is pretty simple. It's not even difficult. Don't tell anyone, unless of course you happen to be married, and then in that case you're entitled to tell your spouse. But otherwise, please, for your own safety, guys, don't tell anyone, you see. And there's a large number of reasons why this is the case. I don't know if you guys saw, but even just lately, I saw it in the news where a couple they were tortured unto death. That means they tortured them before they killed them. And this couple was involved in cryptocurrency. They owned cryptocurrency, and it has something to do with their death. Now, it also came to my understanding that they were mixed up in some kind of wrongdoing, but regardless of that fact, they owned cryptocurrency and it contributed to them being unalived. So that is one of the reasons. This is something that is on the increase. People targeting owners of cryptocurrencies and torturing them. And I can only imagine that that's only going to increase as crypto gets more widely adopted. So that's only one of the several reasons, guys, not to tell anyone. The less people knows about you and your money, the better it would be for you. Okay, so number 2, make sure that all of your debts are canceled. You see, that's the next thing that you're going to want to do. Your car note, your payments on your mortgage, all of these things. And especially if you owe anyone any money, you want to make sure that you pay them immediately, because you don't want any legal problems later on down the road. Because something that you could just go ahead immediately after you come into this cash and pay off, it could cost you more if you were to wait further down the road, if you understand what I mean. So that's why you want to go ahead and immediately pay off your debts, especially if you owe someone in person. And in terms of your car note or your mortgage, that will give you peace of mind. Remember, it all ties into your mind, you see. Remember that your thoughts are creative. So if you were to stay in that frame of mind where you still owe people, you don't want that at all. So that's even one of the very important reasons why to pay off your mortgage and your car note. You don't want to be in the frame of mind of being an ower, you see. No, those days are over. What's going to occur now is others are going to be indebted to you. You'll no longer be a debtor, but people will now be indebted to you, especially the government. And we'll get back to that. We'll circle to that in a minute. Okay, so number 3, don't quit your job just yet. Okay, so you don't want to go ahead and quit your job just yet. No, you want to continue working. And why is that? Trust me, the last thing that you want to do is to have nothing doing, sitting down, doing nothing with this large sum of money, sitting down wherever you have it, in your bank or in your crypto account or cold storage, and you are doing nothing. What do you think that's going to do? It's going to continuously tempt you to spend it. Yeah, you're going to come up with a million ways to lose it. Money that took you probably years for you to accumulate, and it was most definitely not easy for you to get. And you can lose it within a matter of days or even weeks, guys, in that case. So what you want to do is continue working, give it some time for you to think carefully. Because the thing is, whenever you act impulsively or out of emotions such as like excitement, because it will be pretty exciting in the first few days or weeks, you don't want to act out of excitement, or you don't want to be impulsive or act out of emotions. No, but rather you want to act out of logic. So if you continue to work and then settle down, it will give you time to logically and carefully plan out how you will spend this money. For it to provide for you long term and serve you in the way that you would want it instead of being impulsive. And this, what I'm telling you, is based off of historical data, off of the experiences of several other people who had come into money suddenly and have acted out of impulses. 100% of them have lost the bulk of their cash, or even all of it, within a very short period of time. So you don't want to follow in their footsteps at all. So you don't want to quit your job just yet. You can do that further down the road. Continue with your job and clear your mind, and then carefully think and plan how you will go ahead and spend your money. So number 4, secure your wealth and let it sit there for a while. So you want to secure your wealth, and however way that looks, in terms of cryptocurrency, of course, you're going to make sure that it's on a cold storage. I've mentioned it before that these exchanges cannot be trusted. Some of them are just a little bit safer than others. That being the case, you still can't 100% trust any exchange, even the ones that are safer than the others. So you most definitely want to get a cold storage or more than one of them to store your cryptocurrency. Not your keys, not your cryptos, okay? So you want to prioritize that. Secure your finances. Be your own bank. This is 2025 going into 2026, where everyone should have already taken this route and stop depending on these dinosaurs. Dinosaurs meaning the banks and the old banking system. You want to stop depending on them because they're now being phased out. You don't want to trust them any longer. You start thinking of stewarding your own money and being your own bank. And then you're gonna, let it sit for a while. Again, do not act impulsive. Take some time to clear your mind and to carefully think how you're going to reinvest this money. Okay, so number 5, invest in yourself and become financially literate. This now will be very, very important, because when the time comes for you to interact with your financial advisors and people in the financial sector, which will be inevitable, you're going to need to have a basic understanding of the terminologies that they use. And also in the way where you won't come off as being incompetent. And they won't think that you're incompetent, because you don't want them to think that at all. Because then they'll be thinking to take advantage of you. You see, they will think that they can take advantage of you, and you don't want them to think that at all. So you want to invest into getting, even if it's at least a basic understanding of the financial terminologies, you see, and of how the various financial sector works, even if it's at the absolute basic level, that will be fine. It's better than none, because in this way, no one will try to take advantage of you. You see, not your financial team whenever the time comes for you to get them, or any business deals that you're going to be making. People won't think to, or even try to take advantage of you. So that's one way where, having financial literacy will come in handy. Number 6, build a financial team. Now, this is very, very important, guys. Why do you need a financial team? Even if we both, me and you, have basic understanding of finances already and cryptocurrencies. All right, let's say today, right? It's a little bit different than it was like 10 or 20 years ago, because now we have cryptocurrency and we can now self-custody our own cryptocurrency. We can even lend it out at an interest via some DeFi protocol in our cold wallet nowadays. So you may be saying, why do we need financial team anymore? One could question that, and that would be a valid question. But still, we're still in the transition period. It's not entirely phased out. So that being the case, I believe that we will still need a financial team. People that have been in the financial sector for many years and still knows things that me and you don't know, people that are actually smarter than us in those particular fields, not necessarily in crypto, but in those particular fields, like in real estate and in the stock market, etc., that's the reason why we're still going to need them as far as a financial advisor, because your financial team will involve a financial advisor, very important. It will involve people like a lawyer. With a lot of money comes a lot of people who are going to want a piece of you. So eventually you're going to need a lawyer on your financial team, a very good lawyer. And also you're going to need a accountant. Yes, you're definitely going to need an accountant, especially if you're going to consider owning a business or multiple businesses. An accountant will definitely be needed on your financial team as well. And you're going to have to go ahead and handpick them. Now, it would be better for you to find ones that are a little bit older, that has like a track record, you see, so that you can better vet them based off of their historical data. You see, it will be better. It will be a little bit better that way, because when it comes on to these people, it can be very tricky. Some of them are out to just try to drain you. So you want to be very, very careful whenever it comes to these. Make sure that you try to get people to recommend them, and then you vet them properly. You see, that's why I said that it's best if they've been in the business for a number of years, so that you can use their track record to vet them. Okay, say yes, the financial team. Yes, and another reason is also because these people are smarter than you in these particular fields. So the idea is to pay people that are smarter than you to make you money. That is the idea. Okay? Yes, and then you're going to tell them to, diversify, which you don't have to tell them. You're just going to oversee. You're just going to oversee them. You're just going to oversee whatever it is that they're doing. Okay, so you're going to diversify your investments, into stocks, bonds, and hard assets such as gold and silver, possibly even into art, etc., etc. These people, like I said, they're more smarter. They're in those particular fields, and they know a little bit more. So they'll give you suggestions. They'll give you ideas. That's where they will come in, you see, and it'll be better for you because, you pay them to make you a lot of money. Okay, so number 7 on this list, live comfortably, but not too affluently. Now, what does that mean? It means that immediately thereafter, you have the ability to upgrade your comfort level, which includes the place where you live. But you don't want to make the mistakes like, several people that have won the lotto or come into a lot of money suddenly, and then they go and purchase this big house. No, you definitely don't want to do that. Not at all. Because why? Even though you're able to buy the house or even several of these big houses, that's not what you should pay attention to. It's not what you should be looking at. What you should pay attention to is what it will cost to maintain those big houses. And that's what you don't want to be doing. You don't want to be using your capital, which is your principal. You see, none out of the bulk of what you made to be maintaining anything. Not a house or a car or person, nothing at all. Your capital is to generate interest, and from that interest, you will fund your lifestyle. Once you follow that rule, you will never run out of money. Okay, so number 8. Number 8 on this list is, do not lend your money to anyone. It's best you give away, but not in large amounts. You see, in small amounts. Because why? The bulk of your money, like I said just recently, in number 7, the bulk of your money is to generate interest. And from that interest, you're going to fund your lifestyle. That's the way the wealthy do it. It is quite literally a code. It is a code. So once you live by this code, by this law, you will preserve your wealth. Number 9, be as logical and realistic with your business ideas as you possibly can. Now, a lot of people, when they've come into a lot of money as well, they come up with these unrealistic business ideas. And this is also from historical data. This is from experience, guys. And they come up with these business ideas, and most of the times, guys, they end up failing and putting themselves into debt, not only losing the bulk of what they had received, but they end up in debt as well, owing a lot of people, you see, and a lot of financial institutions because of these unrealistic business ideas and businesses that they wanted to launch. You see, so you want to stay as logical, as realistic as possible with your business ideas. You see, and you don't want to come up with it on your own and launch it. No. Whenever you come up with the idea, you want to run it by your financial advisor, by several people, you know, with the advice and the help from a lot of people, preferably qualified people, your plans will succeed. You know, that's what it says there in Proverbs in the book of wisdom. So that's how you want to do it, guys. Now, you also want to remember that 9 out of every 10 businesses fail. And this is real data, guys. So please, just keep it realistic. Now, number 10 on this list is your life will change. Now, this is all aspects of your life. You have to keep that in mind and make preparations for that. You have to also keep in mind that the more money you have, the more problems will come around. Of course, it will solve a lot of problems, but it will also create new problems. So it is very good to also keep that in mind. Now, number 11 on this list is you have to take very good care of your health. Your health will be even that much more important because now you have the money to, you know, have options as to how you eat. And what I'm thinking is that it doesn't make no sense at all for you to spend all that time to work that hard to accumulate all of this wealth if you're not going to be around to experience or to enjoy any of it. That makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. So you're going to want to invest in taking very good care of yourself, eating healthy, and spare no cost at doing this because you comes first. Okay, so number 12 and the very last on this list is as long as you use the bulk of your capital and generate yearly returns and only live off of that yield, you will preserve your wealth for generations to come. Basically, your money will last forever once you do that, guys. Once you leave the bulk of your money, have it in mind that that money is only to generate yield, to generate interest from which you will live. The interest is what will fund your lifestyle. Once you have that ingrained in your mind, you should do very well. Because the mistake that a lot of people make whenever they come into a bulk of money, they tend to want to eat away at the bulk, at the principal, at the capital, which is the prime amount that they had received. No, you don't want to do that. The principal is your investment. That is not to be touched eternally. I'm going to use even that word, eternally. Once you use it to invest, whether, of course, it's going to be diversified. You're going to give some to, you're going to put some into real estate, perhaps some type of yield farming. That is definitely a must with cryptocurrencies. You're going to invest in bonds. It's a very good idea to have the government owing you. So you can put some also into government bonds, invested in the stock market, you know, the S&P 500. And these are long-term investments, which means you're not going to be touching them. What you're going to be touching, what you're going to be spending is the yield from these capitals, from these principles in these various investments. You know, whether you have it in some kind of staking in a particular cryptocurrency, whether in a stable coin or crypto, think of it as long-term, you see. And you only spend the yield from these initial investments. Once you think this way, you would have understood, and then you would have learned how to properly preserve your wealth. Now that is it, guys. But I'm going to leave you with this. This is very important. Learn how to spot and to know what is an asset from what is a liability. That's the first thing that you're going to want to learn. You see, on your journey of becoming financially literate, you need to know the difference between an asset and a liability. And it's pretty simple. A liability takes money out of your pocket, and an asset puts money in your pocket. Mahalo, Mr. Kiyosaki. Yes, guys, I learned that from Mr. Robert Kiyosaki many years ago when I was just starting to learn about finances. You know, he taught me a lot. I learned finances from the best in the industry, guys. You know, from guys like Robert Kiyosaki, Warren Buffett, even some quotes from Bill Gates as well. You see, so I learned from the best. But anyhow, these are just some of the things that you're going to want to do immediately after the wealth transfer has occurred, so as to preserve the blessing that Yah will bestow upon all of us. Now, guys, please do with all this information what you will. This is all I'm going to share with you in this current video. You guys, please take care. Peace. Shalom. Until next time.